12,000-year-old statue discovered at Gobekli Tepe. Gobekli Tepe is considered to be the world's oldest known temple. Could be much older than 12,000 years old. Built by the Arada people that predate the Sumerians, ancient Mesopotamia. And they were actually discussed in many scriptures that would date them back 20,000 years plus. So this temple could be even older than that. And what you're looking at is an incredible statue of the mantis holding a human. And look at the cute mantis to the right. But don't be fooled by how cute they can be, because they can also rip your head off. Well, depending on how big they are. But, you know, I mean, the smaller mantises, the ones that walk around here on Earth, I used to see them all the time growing up as a kid. But when I saw this image, you guys, it, like, triggered something. It triggered that memory that I have. And I'm still wondering if I should share it with you guys today. But I'll tell you this. That's what they looked like. And I'm still kind of shook up by this a little bit, because the way that this thing is presented, the way that it's kind of holding a human as a child, it's not like that other statue that I showed you guys earlier, that carving of those giant serpent dudes and dudettes that were like eating goats and pigs and just being very gluttonous. This statue makes the mantis look like a caring being, in my opinion. And the experience that I had was awesome. I mean, there was nothing bad or scary about it whatsoever. I was about a year old when it happened. And I was in the crib. I remember I was in my crib and I was standing up and I was looking out, and I thought I was looking at, like, when I go back and think of the memory, it made me think of the film Star Wars, Return of the Jedi. And I'll show you what I'm talking about right here. So why not? I'll just tell you guys about it. It could have just been a dream, okay? It could have just been a dream. So a dream that I've remembered for my whole life. And I brought it up to my parents when I was out of high school. I think I was in my early 20s, mid-20s. I said, because I've always liked Star Wars, I said, Mom, did we have life-size Star Wars figures at the first house that you guys bought? Or did I ever have life-size Star Wars figures? And they said, no, what are you talking about? And I was like, are you sure? It's like, well, was I ever at somebody's house that had full life-size Star Wars figures, or Halloween or something like that? No? Okay. So this was the scene that best describes what I remember. And now that I saw that statue, there's even less question in my mind now what happened and what entities I feel made contact with me. Whether or not it was just a dream, like I said, hey, it could have just been a dream, could have been my imagination, whatever. But see this scene right here where there's these three dudes playing music, and then in the background you see this guy kind of in the background, and that's got the mask on, kind of in the shadows. Well, that was the memory that I had, kind of. That was, it triggered to that. When I go back and look at this statue from Gobekli Tepe, every time I go back and look at this, just totally, that's what I saw. I think there was 3 of them. And we're all just staring at each other. They didn't hurt me. I didn't feel threatened. Nothing. We were all just checking each other out. And I remember what seemed to me like, you know how the bounty hunters have on that mask and that suit, the white suit? I remember something like that in the background. Now, once again, this could have been completely in my imagination. Or I made contact with Mantis aliens. I shouldn't even call them Mantis aliens. Maybe we're the aliens. Or I made contact with mantises. Multiple ones. And I don't know. It's a crazy conspiracy, but have you guys ever had any dreams like that? Now, this is the sketch that Barney Hill did when he was under hypnosis about the beings that had abducted Betty, his wife, and himself. And you can see the mantis type looking eyes. Maybe mantis, maybe more like a gray. I don't know if this would be necessarily a mantis, but I think that is interesting. And then they said that these extraterrestrials come from Zeta Reticuli, which is about 39 light years away from Earth. About the same distance as the new TRAPPIST-1 star system that has several Goldilocks planets. Well, let me read this to you. This is a wide binary star system in the southern constellation of Reticulum. From the southern hemisphere, the pair can be seen as a naked eye double star. Based upon parallax measurements, the system is located at about 39 light years from the Earth, or 12 parsecs. Reticuli is orbited by a circumstellar debris disk. Both stars are solar that have characteristics similar to those of the Sun. They belong to the Zeta Herculeus moving group of stars that share a common origin. So, just super happy in that picture. And look at that almost looks too good to be true, doesn't it? It looks like they're dancing. Looks like they're extremely intelligent in that picture. Now, I know they're not like 180 IQ as insects, but they look pretty smart. So anyway, that was pretty cool. Nanu. Gobekli Tepe. This just shows you where it's located. You can go to the Smithsonian. This is a larger image. Just kind of do a comparison there. And it looks like the human's being held up by those two arms that fold. It's like holding on. Like a child would hang on when his parents are taking him to Six Flags or something like that. Or to the park or something. Like he's not scared, he's totally happy, he's totally content. And so is the mantis. It doesn't look like the mantis is getting ready to eat him or, suck his brains out or anything like that. They look just totally chill. So, anyway, thought that was interesting because I used to describe it as something like out of the Star Wars, out of the Return of the Jedi scene right here, these insectoid-looking things. And now, once again, going back and looking at that statue, that's just spot on. It's exactly what I remember. Swamp gas. I was looking at swamp gas. That's what it was. And I remember it from 38 years ago. And as cute as these guys are, as you can see, you don't want to mess with them. Because if you piss them off, they'll eat you alive. So definitely want to stay on their good side. Anyway, thought I'd share that with you. A 12,000-year-old statue. 12,000-year-old statue of what could be the Mantis Alien. Now, definitely check this article out. Go to projectcamelotportal.com. Great information. I was very impressed with Carrie's website here. So she's done a really good job putting this together. And the person that actually took these pictures, I think they were funded by somebody that listens to Project Camelot. So, yeah, made possible by a Camelot supporter. How cool is that? So, Carrie Cassidy, she's been in the industry for a long time. She's definitely one of the pioneers of alternative media, and I give her props for that. So, thank you, everybody, for being here. Have a beautiful day, and what do you think about that crazy dream, wink, wink, that I had 38 years ago? Be the change you want to see.